Perfect. All right, Dub, you want to start us off with Coach Simmons?
Yeah, Jason, just first opportunity calling plays, just how would you assess how Saturday went overall?
I think when you look at it, when you go back and you watch tape, I watched tape on the plane. We watched tape as an offensive staff yesterday. There were instances where we did some really good things. I think we had 17 plays of 7+ yards throughout the day. We opened drives extremely well. 10 of 11 drives we won first down. So, I think you can take those two things and try and build off of that. But the area that I have to get better and I have to do a better job putting our guys in position to be successful is situational football. I didn't do a good enough job on third down. Got rushed in the red zone a little bit. Didn't do a good enough job down there. And so, those are two areas that I have to get better at and that we got to continue to grow. I do feel like we did some good things. We had that opening drive going a little bit. We complete a ball, complete a slant route to Max Clear, and we get a holding call, set us back behind the chains a little bit. But we still got to be able to overcome those things. But I think all in all, I think there's some positives to take away from it. There's certainly a lot to learn. It's just like any other ball game. You're gonna if you're willing to learn the life lessons that are embedded in it, we're gonna have a chance to grow and get better. If we ignore them, then we're certainly not. And so we got to get better at situational football for sure.
On the two drives in the first half, you guys got inside the 5. Just what did you see on film that kind of led to those stops?
Well, I think when you look at it, we didn't have we didn't have a book on us, and so the positive to that was we were going into the game and didn't have a lot of tendencies. The negative to that was, sometimes they may align to formations differently when you present them for the first time than what we had seen on tape. And so I think it was a little bit of that. Again, part of it falls on the play call. I didn't give our guys the best chance. I could have down there to be successful and for us to get touchdowns. And so I think it was a little bit of everything. It was a little bit of a mixed bag down there. But it's certainly a learning experience for us and something we're going to grow and get better at this week.
What went into the decision for you to call plays from the field as opposed to the box?
Feel more than anything else. I've spent a large part of my career on the field coaching. I can feel it, I can see it. I had an opportunity to talk to Hudson in between drives, on what he saw, what he liked, what he didn't like, what he was comfortable with, what he wasn't comfortable with. And to be able to have some of those same conversations with our coaching staff when you can look somebody in the eye and you're not trying to have conversations over a headset helped. And so, I think for me, it's as much a feel thing as it is anything, but also be able to talk to Hudson and see what he's comfortable with, drive in and drive out.
The tight end group for this team, just what's your analysis of that? Like looking at it from the outside in, I guess for these past 9 months, and what role do you think it needs to have this offense over the back half of the season?
Well, I think when you look at what Max Clare and Drew Bibber have done for us, we've asked them to do quite a bit, and we got Ben Furtne on the field as well Saturday. And so being able to utilize that room, I think, is important because they have a diverse skill set. When you look at them holistically, we can get the ball to them in space, and they're able to do something with it after the catch. They're both, really all three of those guys were willing blockers on Saturday. Drew and Max have done a really good job fitting in the run game for us this year. They've been opportunistic in the pass game as well, and so we got to continue to push the ball into space, and those two guys, especially Max and Drew, are guys that we're going to continue to look to get the ball to in space. But yeah, I think when you look at our tight end room as a whole and what Coach Simmons has done with that group, he's done an outstanding job getting those guys ready to play week in and week out.
You've coached a long time at the high school level in this state, including some of the biggest programs, obviously. Is there something that you've seen over that time, a common denominator with Purdue or Indiana or whoever, when they're recruiting this state well? What does that look like? What are they doing well that finds the talent in a state that isn't known as a abundant football talent state?
Well, I think when you look at the abundance of football talent in the state of Indiana, I think it's really evolved. Back in the 90s when I played in this state, there weren't as many guys as there are now that are FBS level players, and that are players that are going to go on and play at the Division I level. I think that number is consistently growing. A large part of that had to do with the influx of, I believe, of the Indianapolis Colts moving into town and making football important. You know, obviously, you know, a lot of people are going to tell you that Indiana's a basketball state, but there's also really good football being played here. And when you can recruit the best players in the state of Indiana consistently, you're going to have an opportunity to have guys on your team that take a great deal of pride in putting that Purdue jersey on week in and week out. And you know, for us, we're going to continue to pound the pavement in the state of Indiana from a recruiting standpoint, and we just got to continue to gain some momentum here.
How can you get more from your wide receiving core?
But I think a lot of that's just opportunity. You know, we've been inconsistent. I say inconsistent in terms of personnel, week in and week out. You know, we've been moving guys around quite a bit, which disrupts rhythm and timing when it comes to practice opportunities. And we got to be more intentional about giving them opportunities to be successful. And you know, I think we did a little bit of that on Saturday, but we got to continue to grow and expand that group. I mean, you know, we got to build confidence. We got to build confidence with that group. They're hungry. They're ready for opportunity. They're ready for the football. And it's our responsibility as a coaching staff to put them in the best possible position to be successful.
Coach, you mentioned, you know, talking about adversity and getting through what you're going through right now. How do you relate, you know, this sudden change of phase to something that maybe you went through as a high schooler or as a young athlete yourself, and you know, with all the changes you've experienced in now leading this offense?
Well, when you look at this opportunity that got presented to us, you know, one week ago, like I don't look at this as something that's an adverse situation. You know, it's really a heck of an opportunity. Like it's when you think of adversity, you think something bad's happened. You know, and you know, to have this opportunity that we have right now, it's, you know, for us, it's an opportunity to impact young people. It's an opportunity to use football as a platform to make a difference in the lives of people. But more importantly, you know, it's a great opportunity for us to go shoot our shot. And you know, we got to continue to talk to the players about that. We had a great week of preparation and practice. We got to do a better job of finding the missing link to get that preparation that we had in practice to carry over to Saturday. And you know, that's our responsibility as a coaching staff. But you know, to say we're taking on a bunch of adversity right now, I don't know that I'd call it adversity. Should I get to wake up and coach football every day? There's far worse jobs out there, you know.
How much do you want your run game to be predicated on read option, and how would you rate Hudson's comfort doing that?
When you look at our run game right now, our offensive line is doing a really good job blocking outside zone. We got a lot of different ways that we can run outside zone. When you turn the tape on and watch us and you evaluate what we're doing offensively in the run game, you're going to see us running outside zone. You know, we put some layers to that this week, and you know, I think that allowed us to put the ball in space a little bit. It allowed us to get the ball out of Hudson's hands quickly. You know, you look at his comfort level with that. His comfort level is really high with it. You know, he did a really nice job handling that on Saturday. And you know, we got to continue to find ways to do that. We got to find ways to get the ball in space. We got to find ways to get the ball out of his hand quickly, and we got to continue to add layers to our run game to help us.
More questions for Coach Simmons? All right, thank you, Coach.
Guys, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
We'll have Coach